All right, we should be starting. Let me know, sound off in the comments if you can see me. We should be live already. Hello everyone. Hello Grillo. Hello David, Eleni, Aris, Aurelian, and Deep Space Solo. All right, we are indeed live. Thank you very much for coming. How's the sound? Let me know if you can hear me well. Did you grab your drink? I have a malt soft drink straight from Venezuela. It has a very weird flavor, so I reckon it would be adequate for what we're about to do here. Okay. Hello, Ricardo. Excellent. We're working great. Now, okay. So the plan is, as you can see, we have a countdown, 59 minutes before the launch. I'm assuming, this is my first time on BackerKit, you've heard me saying that. I'm assuming that I set up it to launch automatically when the countdown reaches 0, but we are going to discover this together. If not, I'll just go on the back end and launch it manually. But while we wait for this moment, I thought, why not have some fun and use our demo, our online demo tool here to create some weird stuff together. Why not, right? By the way, if you haven't yet, this demo that you're seeing here, this web app, which is a preview of what perhaps the web app might become if we reach the goal. Well, it's the bare bones version of what it might become. It is free and you can get it right now if you go to the launch party page that is linked here on YouTube. There is a link that gets you straight to itch.io where you can simply access it. And during the campaign, that is, for the 30 days that campaign is live, you can access for free. Now, the thing is, you don't have all the instructions, you have all the steps, and you can create everything that you need here. However, you don't have all the explanation for all the steps. So some of them might feel a bit esoteric. I do have here on YouTube a video going through an example, and on my Substack, my newsletter, there's also a written example of how to use it. But I think it's mostly intuitive. There are some of the traits that you can change that may feel a bit strange if you don't have the explanation or the examples. But I think you can give it a spin as it is right now. I've used it twice, Jonathan. It's dope. Thank you very much. So yeah, I've received some reports back of people using the tool as it is right now without an explanation and doing stuff. On Blue Sky, no, it was on Mastodon. It was on Substack and on Reddit today of people trying it out, and it seems to be working. Oh, on my Discord server as well, people are using it, and seems to be working even as it is. So that's a good sign, right? All the work that I've done is paying off. So yeah, let me see. Let me check the comments here. Sound is good. Fluids are lacking though. Do you mean like the scrolling of the thing? Is it like this thing here? Let me know if there is any problem. If you're seeing the page correctly, the web app correctly here, because that will be important, right? And I appreciate you guys commenting on the art. As I said, this is the first time that I'm doing art for a game of mine. I decided to start a journey of learning how to draw. It's been, I want to say, let's see, 5 to 6 months that I started doing it. And I'm very goal oriented when learning stuff. Like, for example, if I want to learn a language, I have to have a goal. Like, I'm going to visit a country or I have to talk to someone in that language. So this goal really sets me up to do the stuff that I need. And in this case, I said, well, I was progressing a bit, but I wanted to push myself in terms of art. So I said, well, if I decide that I want to publish a game using my own art, there will be all the incentive that I need to actually push the boundaries and practice a lot. That's what I've been doing. And there's some clarification to be done. Everything is done by hand, of course. I am using some public domain images to make like a photo bashing on some parts and importing some pieces, bits and pieces of public domain art into the composition, the general composition. So in the cover art, for example, it's the example that I always give because it's my favorite feature. If you see there is a floating fish in the sky that has a human face. That human face comes from a public domain image that I liked. And then I put it on my drawing app and I drew over. So I combined the fish that I draw with the face of a public domain image. I'll be doing this for a while. I think this method of repurposing public domain image with your own art is something that is really inspiring, really, because you have you don't start from a blank page, which is always helpful, and you have this inspiration to mix and match. And I think the result, especially what made me more comfortable for doing the art for this project, is because of the tone of the project. We're talking about weird whimsy and wonder, so I thought a quirky style of art is perfect for this project. This project does not call for a very super clean, high fidelity, high definition kind of art. It's more quirky, wacky, a little bit more freeform. So I think I can get away with it. And people have been telling me that they're digging it. So that's good. Hey Tarcísio! Hey man, shout out to Tarcísio. This guy is responsible for me for like more than half of my career. He's got a Facebook group called Solo RPG where I was introduced to Solo RPG. I was introduced to a community that really encourages creation and where I shared my first creations. And Tarcísio has a wonderful YouTube channel with lots of tips for solo players and much more. So I'm super glad to see you here. Thank you so much. Hello, Elijah. Excited to have you here too. All right, so we're going to start. I want to create something either weird, whimsical, or wondrous. My first idea is we can randomize everything using the tool here, or if you have any kind of input in terms of, for example, I wanted to do, let's do a location, let's try an item, or let's create a monster or an NPC. If you have something in that regard, we can start from that. Otherwise, we randomize everything. So let me know if you have any ideas. I'll open the door for my dog while you talk about it. All right, what do we have here? We have an artifact, a location, monster, and location. 2 votes for location so far. I'll wait a bit more. 3 votes for location. I guess we have something going on here, huh? A location that is inside a monster. Well, Grillo, you got the spirit. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's do a location first, right? So you don't need, when you're using this tool, you don't need to define the subject first. Not really. If you have a subject in mind, as we do here, let's do a location. Great. Otherwise, you can really start from blank page and just let all the tables guide your creation. But in this case, just to show you guys what that would look like, there is here step 2 is pick a subject. If you click here, oh, there you go. the random gods are with us. It shows a location as well, but it could be a creature. It could be what else? A group. That means like a faction or a cult, a guild. It could be an event, and so forth. Okay, there are 12 flora. There are 12 different subjects that you can randomize using this tool. Okay, a phenomenon, and on the book, together with the word, there's a little bit of explanation of what they mean, because some of them are not super obvious. Like, for example, structure. What do I mean with structure? I mean like something that is constructed. That can be like a temple, or it can be a bridge, or it can be a monolith, things like that. There's also a trace. I don't know if I can get it randomly to show up here. Trace means signs, symbols, and suggestions of something. I think this one, trace, is pretty good when you're like trying to create evidence of something weird but does not want to show it already, or if you want to create a symbology in your game. So you find like inscriptions on a wall. This is also good for trace. All right. So location it is. Now flavor. The tool offered 3 different flavors: weird, whimsy, and wonder. Hence the title of the toolkit. Of course, there's a lot of overlap among them, but what I'm going for here, why do I separate them? Because it is easy when you're creating stuff with random tables to go full gonzo. You combine a lot of stuff and you end up with something super weird, which is fine if that is the flavor, the tone that you're going for. Sometimes that's not what you're looking for. Sometimes you want something that is more lighthearted, more dreamlike, more funny in a kind of a carefree way, which is the whimsy flavor. And sometimes you were aiming for that awe-inspiring, majestic, divine flavor. This is the wonder flavor, which I think is the most difficult to catch. I think in order, it's easy to get weird. Whimsy is moderately easy, I think. Sometimes it can get a little bit creepy, but it can be fun too. I always think of, for example, Spirited Away, which is, I think, a good mixture of weird stuff and whimsical stuff. You know, you have this sense of uncanny, of a strange, but also it is lighthearted and humorous at some aspects. And then wonder, which is this sense of awe, of the majestic. It is a tone that is, I think, harder to replicate, especially because I think it relies very much on the way that you describe the scene. You know what I mean? To capture the sense of wonder, you have to first give it a nice description, and you need some more buy-in from other players, assuming you're not playing solo, of course, because people have, for the weird and whimsy, which is kind of funny or strange, I think the buy-in is easier. Whereas wondrous, you really need to get people in that sense of, oh, this is really divine and uplifting, you know? Let me grab some water here. Right, so let's randomize what flavor this location is going to have. Oh, there you go, wonder. Let's get the challenge. Okay, to help you capture a flavor, what this game provides is, well, in the book, there is a chapter for each one of them, or a subchapter, with tips and tricks, a checklist of questions that you can go through to make sure that you're nailing the tone. But most importantly for me is a series of tags. Those tags are a single word or two words that try to capture what this flavor is all about. Here in the preview of this web app, each time you generate a flavor, it picks 3 of those tags. I think each flavor has about 10 to 12 tags, if I'm not mistaken. And they serve as, a guideline. Every time you're creating the stuff and you feel that perhaps you're straying away from the tone that you were aiming for, you go back to those tags and you see, okay, oh, is this what I actually was going for? Is this becoming perhaps too scary and I was going for something whimsical? So they serve as this kind of compass, right? Now for us here, we have grandeur, enchanting, and profound. So this location is enchanting and profound. Okay. Now, at any moment, you can count on the seeds, which here is on step 5, because I couldn't find a better place to put it for now. I'll improve it. But you use seeds to inspire you at any point. What are seeds? Well, if you play solo, you are familiar with that. Those are the what we call the spark tables or oracle tables that have a single word, and they prompt you with an abstract term. Perhaps you can interpret more literally or more metaphorically, as you wish. And they serve you as a push of inspiration, okay? I'm gonna hit it here and let's see if those words spark you with any clues as how to start describing this wondrous location, okay? Let's randomize this. Precious, guardian, and sand. Now, I'll hit it back to you guys. By just getting these 3 flavors, these 3 seeds here, what you guys get. While you talk, I'll update our document here. So we are doing a location. The flavor is wonder. And we're going for something that is enchanting, right? What is the other text? Profound. Okay, enchanting, grandeur, profound. Subject, location. Seeds. Let me go back to the seeds. So we have precious, guardian. If you think you need more seeds, you can always roll again, okay? Let me check the chat. Let's see what you guys are cooking here. Sand made of tiny glittering gems. Okay, this is pretty cool. And they're sentient. Love it, love it. A whirling dust devil filled with precious gems guarding a temple. All right, they're talking. Zen garden of a princess that has gigantic animated topiaries of cute babe animals. All right, twin still, that's what I'm talking about. Almost bedtime. Oh, hey Dan, how are you? Perhaps the sentient sand is hiding, guarding a passage. Okay, I like it. Grillo, let's see, Grillo. Seemingly abandoned temple on an oasis in the desert. There's an unearthed entrance guarded by some statues. Okay. Stefano Scaliano says you're so prolific. I like almost everything you make. Oh, Stefano, thank you. That's very kind of you. That really warms my heart. I try to put my heart and soul in everything that I do, giving it all. That's what I love to do. Dust Devil's cool, maybe bring something with it like flowers. Okay, I think we're starting to picture something. Remember, it is a location. So I like sentient sand made of tiny glittering gems. And that is the Zen garden aspect of it is pretty cool. So perhaps, and there is also the idea of guarding a passage or a temple. All right. Areas, let's see, a liminal monumental citadel, minimalist architecture, tall spaces without roofs, sandstorms in the distance, stars twinkling in the night. Okay, I like that. Dust Devil is cool, maybe bring something with it, like flowers. Does the sand shift on its own accord, making the Zen garden patterns? Oh, that is very interesting. So let's imagine that. A kind of Zen garden with sentient sand made of tiny gemstones. And then in the middle of it, there is this an entrance guarded by this kind of dust devil thingy, guarding this, let's say, there is this temple idea, and also, what was the other one that Twin Steel said? The princess kind of deal. A princess, perhaps the temple of a princess that is guarded by some sort of dust devil. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Now, let's write some stuff down just so that we don't forget. Okay, this is the description. Now, scroll down if you don't need. So, Zen garden. Sorry, my typing. Sentient sand made of gemstones. Dust devil guarding a passage to a secret prince's temple. Something like that. Let me scroll a little bit. Okay, there you go. Now, we're still on step 2. What we have to do now is select a trait. This is where the magic happens, where this differs from other oracles. Because up to now, I think you could get a similar result if you use the spark tables or oracles, right? What happens now is how we start to shift this thing into something else. And we do that by changing a specific characteristic of the subject, in this case, our location, and shifting it some way, okay? So, what is this characteristic? Let's see. Autonomy dependence. Now, this one is perhaps if you are if you're already familiar with the system, you would grasp automatically what this means. But in case you don't, let me read you the passage that comes with the book that defines what autonomy dependence means. So there you go. Let me find it here. Autonomy dependence. Change how dependent or self-sufficient the subject is. Use this to suggest strange correlations or unexpected independence. For example, a severed skeletal hand crawls and cooks on its own. So this is showing autonomy of something that shouldn't have. Or the map redraws itself based on the traveler's desires. So there is also a sense of autonomy. Now, dependence. The forest lives as long as the slumbering giant beneath it keeps dreaming. So there is this dependence between a forest and a creature that is dreaming this place to exist. All right? So what we're going to change here in this situation is the autonomy or dependence between these elements that we have here. If you were playing in a session, you could perhaps create dependence between other elements that already happen in your campaign. You know what I mean? So you found an NPC before and you create a dependence from this location to another one. Or we can rely on autonomy, like perhaps what could be autonomous here? Like this temple doesn't rely on structure or on a physical realm to be here, so it just exists. But now, there's more. Let me get back to it. What you can do now, the next step is, okay, we have a trait that is the characteristic that we're going to change. And now how you will modify the chosen trait is what we call a shift. What are we going to do with this autonomy, this dependence? Are we going to revert, amplify, multiply? Well, you can randomize that. Sometimes you have some weird combinations. Let's go. Merge. Okay. Now, how do we merge the autonomy or dependence of this scene? What ideas do you guys have? Up to you, folk. Let's imagine here how we shift, how we merge and interconnect the dependency of the things, the dependence of the things that we have in this scene already. Hello, Nick. Haven't seen you yet. Design patterns, reform patterns based on the prince's state of mind. Oh, okay. I like that a lot. Yeah, that is a dependence, and there is a merge, of course. The dust devil as an extension of the sand rather than a separate creature. That's good. Yeah, so it's not like it's an autonomous being. The whole sand itself, let's imagine like Agent Smith from the Matrix, right? When a guardian is needed, the sand itself reshapes to form a sentient dust devil guard. That is pretty cool, huh? Now, if you want at this point, or any point really, you can go back to your seeds and roll more, perhaps to spark even more ideas. Just for our example, I'll go ahead and do it, and perhaps y'all have more ideas. Let's roll seeds once more and see what you get. Barbed lamp and bracelet. It can be interpreted metaphorically, like lamp meaning light and bracelet meaning, I don't know, binding, and barbed meaning sharpness in general. Does it spark something in your minds? Let me know. The gem's pulse of light. Okay, Elaine, that's cool. A bracelet with houses a wishing gene, but if worn is hurting the arm. Yeah, that's kind of spirit, right? It is cool. Okay, so we are, let me update the text while we talk a bit. The traits, it is autonomy or dependence, and we are merging. The shift here is to merge these things. What else we've got here? The devil's formed by infinite strings of the gems. Ooh, right, cool. So let me go back to what you say. I like the idea that the dust devil is an extension of the sentient sand. I'll definitely add that. Let me add an M dash here. I love M dashes. I'll keep using it. AI won't steal this from me. Dust Devil guarding. It is. How did Dan said here? An extension of the sentient sand can be formed wherever needed. Okay, now this is a good time for us to go back to our tags. Now, enchanting, grandeur, and profound. How do you feel by the description that we're hitting at right now? Are we hitting those tones of something profound and enchanting? Can we dial it up a bit in the terms of grandeur to make it really majestic, really wondrous? So this is a check that you stop to think. There is no right or wrong answer. Sometimes as you develop the random thing, you end up going in a different direction that really caters to what you're feeling at the moment. And you can say, you know what? I think I'll go more in the spooky direction or more whimsical direction. This is fine. Those tags are here not to restrain or constrain you, but rather as a checkpoint. Just go back. Perhaps if you're, for example, if you're prepping as a GM and you are crafting a scene that you want your players to feel a certain way, this is a good time to stop and say, is that the tone? Am I hitting the tone here? Can I adjust? Perhaps I have to retcon some of the decisions I've made. Completely fine. Okay, let me see, Elijah. What if the sand's behavior and life is tied to the prince's emotions via an enchanted bracelet which was fused to her by an enemy, so she's trapped by her... Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I like that a lot. Okay, so there is this sense of grandeur in the terms of an enemy, like a curse. Okay, that is cool. Like, okay. So the princess bracelet. Princess, is that how you write that? Princess's bracelet. Excuse my English. Or there is another S here. I never know if there's a lot of S's. You guys let me know if I'm writing this correctly. Bracelet, fused by an enemy. And while she wears it, her emotions control the sand's behavior. Okay, that can have the potential to create a very atmospheric scene, because perhaps while your character walks into this place, the sand will be behaving in a way that will indicate how the princess is feeling at this moment. And you get a sense of perhaps the guard is very aggressive towards you, and it's because the princess inside this kind of a spectral temple that we can barely see at this moment. This entrance is guarded. She at this moment is feeling angry, and that reflects even in the patterns of the sand on the floor. Okay, that's pretty cool, right? Now, if we get there, let's say we're happy with it. I mentioned in the book that your creation is only as good as the description you're able to make, right? Because sometimes, well, if you're playing solo and you're just daydreaming it in your head and you don't need to share it with anyone and you're able to capture the scene in your mind, then you're good. If you're trying to perhaps write it down and publish on a blog or record a video, or if you're playing in a group, whether as a GM or as a cooperative experience, you can only convey these images in your head if you're able to describe them richly, right? So I myself have limitations in that regard, especially because English is my second language. I usually play games in English, so my vocabulary is a bit constrained. What I like to do is to use scene framing tables that help you focus on different aspects of the scene that you otherwise would overlook. For me, sometimes I focus too much on perhaps color and lights, and I forget sounds or I forget movement. I forget different things that could contribute to bring this scene to life. So I included a scene framing table in this game, which, if I'm being honest, I think it's one of my favorites that I've ever made. And I don't think you can see it there. Thanks, David. You're very kind. Let me see if I can move this little thing here. Boom. Framing. There you go. Okay. Hope you can see it now. Now, frame is, I did it in 3 different layers. The layer 1, the first layer, is what is most obvious. It's sensory details, immediate things that you can perceive. The second layer goes beyond the thing that you're focusing on and goes to the spatial and environmental aspects. And the third layer is more subjective, interpretative and expressive, so you can really cater to different feelings that the scene might evoke, you know what I mean? And I have 6 entries on each of these 3 layers. What you can do when playing is roll once on each, or perhaps randomly roll 3 different ones and get whatever layers it perhaps will select and go with the flow, right? Let's randomize it here and see what we get. We have, let me see if you can see it, Sue. Yes, you can. Sensory and immediate, a sight or a detail, something that is very specific. The second layer is layout and arrangement, so how things are distributed in this environment. And the third layer is posture or attitude. So I think it fits really well to what we're describing here. We can have the details about the guard, the sand, the entrance. We can focus on the gemstones themselves. The layout arrangement can be the Zen garden itself. How is it distributed? Is it like in the middle of a desert? What are the limits outside? How's the sky and things like that? And posture, attitude, I think it fits really well. How's the sand behaving right now? How is the guard behaving towards us? Now, with these 3 things, we could roll more, but with these 3 things, how would you frame this scene and describe it if you're playing solo or to your group? Let me see. Rainbow lights when the sun illuminates the gem sand. Okay, yeah, that's a very good detail. Perhaps like as the character, as you enter this place, the first thing you glimpse, since this is layer 1, is sparkles of this rainbow spectra of colors as they hit a particularly bright gemstone. And that's when you figure that they're moving by their own intent, right? At a magical bonsai. That perfect. So growing from those shapes of sand, those patterns of sand, perhaps in forms of spiral, and in the center of the spiral, a bonsai emerges, perhaps encrusted with gemstones itself too. Okay. The princess tends a garden of fruit trees. She trusts her guardian, believing this place is good for her. She's controlling the thinking precious sand grains to do her bidding. All right, so perhaps as we interact with this guardian and we get a glimpse of what's going on here, we may even narrate a cutscene from this place where the princess is. She's hidden somewhere, tending to those trees. And as we see her connection to this dust devil guard manifesting and her emotions transferring to them, you can see that the attitudes of the dust devil towards us change. The gems make a tinkling sound as the guardian moves. That's perfect. Even you, I guess, as a character, are as you're stepping through this, let's imagine that perhaps you've been traveling through sand and you got up to this point in this thump thump sound of compact sand, but once you enter this place, it changes, like you're stepping on crystals. There is this crackling and tinkling, like those wind chimes. As you step on them, they start to make this sound, and you hear this sound echoing from a point. And as you look, you see the dust devil guardian forming and tinkling like wind chimes coming towards you. Perhaps the trees are a test if they have gems as fruit. Okay, those who stop to steal the fruit aren't the ones who will be allowed to pass, at least not pass easily. There you go. Not only we have a description of a scene, we also have perhaps a challenge. What this place is about. The fruits themselves offer, well, grabbing fruits from forbidden trees, it is a theme, right? And there is perhaps different fruits cater to different styles or different personalities. The place is filled with guests, she claims, but all we see are the trees. Yeah, okay. I like this kind of, the princess is in a state of mind that is nor here nor there, there is some, she's experienced things in a different state of mind. Very, very cool. All right, and there you go. With those prompts, of course, we took here 25 minutes doing that because we are debating. I'm explaining the tool as I go. But honestly, now that I at least I am familiar with the thing, I'm doing this on the table live, improving with my home group of Everest Park. And like sometimes they have a random encounter in a city and they say, okay, let's make this weird. I pull out this web app, clicking it 5 times and brainstorming with the group, we create something that's very unique that I wouldn't be able to find in any random table in 3 minutes, honestly. So yeah, that's how the thing works, right? Maybe at a hall with a large statue filled with incensed smoke. Very cool demo. Did you make the web app yourself? Yes, I did, Elijah. I mean, I knew some HTML and CSS. So to get this simple look, I had the things, but it is a simple JavaScript that I honestly don't know. I literally enter in Stack Exchange and copy paste some bits of code and add it in the text edit app here, and it worked. So so far so good. But if we reach the funding goal, I want to give it I don't know how my skills get, but I can study a bit more and perhaps give it a better look. But it is functional as it is at the moment, I must say. Perhaps just, I don't know, have a text box where you can like import the results and then edit yourself. That would be cool. Okay. All right. So we have time for one more. What about one more? Let me see. We have still a lot of people here. So are you up for another one? Now that we got the hang of it, we can create one faster. Let me just adjust this back to where it was. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Are we back on top here? As you can see, I added a button here, randomize all. If you really feel like you need a jump start and you are staring at a blank page and you don't know what to do, you click it once and all the fields get filled. What you guys say we try this, and if we get something repeated or something that doesn't really sing with us, we can roll again. Shall we give it a go? What you say? Yeah, right. Sounds good, huh? Okay, so the magic button, randomize all. If we get something repeated or not fun, we redo it. Boom, boom, boom. I hope it works. I hope I didn't break it. Let's see. Boom. Okay, excellent. So the flavor is weird this time. The subject is flora. I've made a poetic license here to include fungi inside flora. I know there are different kingdoms. I even put an asterisk in the book and saying, yes, I know fungi is not flora, but I didn't want to include just another entry on the table just for fungi. But I love mushrooms. I think mushrooms are the epitome of weird stuff. Hence, I have mushrooms even in the cover. But so, as an exception, let's include flora and fungi. A trait. What are we going to change about this thing? Is communication. Let me read you what communication means. Let me see if I can find it here. Communication. There you go. Communication. Change how or if the subject communicates. Use strange languages, symbolic speech, or unexpected senses. Challenge the media and purpose of communication. For example, the silent sages speak through colored smoke. Or the flower transmits thoughts when smelled. Or a diary that replies to your entries overnight. So we're changing the way that this flora piece communicates, okay? And how we're changing the communication. Separating. So perhaps it comes from a different place that is not exactly from the flora. And we have some seeds here to help us spark on ideas of what kind of floral element we're talking about. Shaking, antlers, and thorn. Whoa, okay, that seems very in theme for what we need here. Okay, so recap. We're going to do something weird that makes us unease, tense. So it's the weird, really weird. It's something about flora. We are changing the communication of this floral element by separating it from the floral element. The inspiring seeds are shaking, antlers, and thorn. Okay? Let me put this on the document while you guys brainstorm some ideas. How about that? Okay. Flavor. Weird. Subject. Flora. The trait is communication. We're going to shift how it communicates by separating. Seeds are shaking, antlers, and thorn. And we get to the scene framing afterwards. But let's start. What kind of flora do you think that is? What kind of Is it a flower, a tree, a bush? Is it a mushroom? Using a poetic license. Mobile, while the app looks cool, I'd appreciate more info on the actual book. I'll show you something of the book if you want. Why will you do that? The book, let me show you. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Let me show the campaign page. Okay, let me see if you tell me if you can see this, right? The book is about, it will be hardcover, 80 to 90 pages. It will have 5 random tables. The seeds have 648 words. The subjects are 12 different subjects with explanation. The traits are 36 characteristics of the things that you can change with a whole explanation and at least 3 examples each. And by the way, creating this table of traits was one of the most difficult things that I've made in my game design career. And then there is like 18 different ways you can shift those traits, and then 18 aspects of the scene that you can use for framing. Besides those tables, there will be a tightly knit procedure showing you step by step how you go through each one of, how is it show here, how you go through each one of the steps, explaining how you do it with examples, right? And also an explanation of all the 3 other different flavors, weird, whimsy, and wonder, showing tags, showing a checklist. Oh, this is how I made the art for the cover, a step-by-step process here. Showing a checklist that you can refer back to. Here's the fish that I mentioned, you guys. And the pages will be drawn by me as well. And don't worry, I won't draw on every spread of the page because I know that sometimes the cognitive load of a lot of information on a page can be too much. And I think that I will use these more dense illustrations when the text itself is less demanding cognitively, right? When we go to like more detailed explanations, I'll dial down on the art and let the text speak for itself, right? But this is the approach I'm going forward. Everything is human made. There will be a lot of illustrations that I'm doing by combining my own art and public domain images that I'm doing in it. And then I'm getting here to the book, the tier levels that I don't want to spoil too much because there are some very cool things. There are a lot of add-ons, but yeah, so this is more or less the book. Does this help you at all? Mobo, let me know if that explains a bit of the book. If you have any specific questions, please do let me know. I'll be glad to answer you. All right, we have 7 minutes. How are we going here? Thanks for this overview. I mostly run absurd games like Ultraviolet Grasslands, Itra's Bio, Invisible Sun. So this does look something I need. Oh yeah, that's very much the vibe. Yeah. Ultraviolet Grasslands is a huge inspiration for me, not only for this project, but in general. I really like it. I like the vibe. I like the illustrations and everything. Let me get back to the inspiration here of the flora. Flowering cactus, that's cool. Communicated by shooting spines, that is super cool. A single fungus that infects and takes over the creatures that become infected by it. With a controlled elk as its emissary. Oh, because of the antlers. All right then, now we're talking. Mind controlling spores that control wildlife. Airplant would be cool also. Remember, we're going for weird, okay? It's gotta be uneasy and tense. What else? Gigantic flowering cactus. That's cool. Branched cactus which waves its branches to communicate somewhat like how a bee dances. Oh, okay. All right. Cactus is mushroom sidekick. I love it. The flowering cactus uses its spines to paint a picture. I also love dancing bee cactus. Okay. A mushroom buddy. Maybe the spines are multicolored. Well, that's a killer information design tidbit. Never thought of that. Which one, Elijah? Just so I know what we're referring to. Maybe the cactus loses its voice and must paint to communicate. Perhaps it includes its flowering signals like waving around an Asian fan in its dance. Okay. The information density bit you mentioned when talking. Oh, okay. Yeah, I appreciate, I really like graphic design, and I really appreciate when people push the boundaries of graphic design with different layout and everything. But I have received feedback, but that people tend to have trouble parsing information when it's too dense, both in the cognitive overload of the images themselves and the instructions of the text. So that super colorful one that I showed you is the foreword. In the foreword, you're just getting the vibe of the game. You don't need to absorb or learn any instructions. So it's okay to go a bit overboard. Now, when I'm explaining perhaps a more sophisticated or delicate concept, it's better to tone down and let it breathe, I think. All right. Elk, bee, cactus, and mushroom is a great combination of players. Oh, it certainly is, Jonathan. It could be a party, right? So what we're feeling? Are we feeling cactus then? So is it a cactus with either a mushroom or sprouting flowers? How do we narrow it down, guys? We have 4 minutes to do this one. Let's go cactus. Cactus. It is a cactus. What's the painting concept again? The flowering cactus spines to use its spines to paint a picture. Okay. Oh, waves its branches to communicate somewhat like how a bee dances. Okay, that's cool. How do we make this look separate from it? Is the dance separate enough for our concept here, or the drawing, the painting, is look more towards our goal here? And remember, weird. There's something about it that makes us tense and uneasy. What else? Infects and take over the creature, communicates through them. Okay, so I like the idea of the communicates through the infection because it goes for the uneasy, intense kind of feel, which is good. But going with the cactus, perhaps the spines, is it called spines of the cactus? I don't know the name. Is it thorn, really? Are we using antlers as well? Or what else? What are we feeling? 2 minutes to conclude this and launch. Do I still have you guys here? Let me see. Oh yeah, it's still here. Okay. Cactus. Perhaps. Yeah, let's go painted moves. Perhaps those pictures. Painting pictures. Oh, David. Now we're talking. Cactus is growing from an elk carcass. This is very in the uneasy territory, right? Cactus growing from an elk carcass. All right. If you want to go full spooky, you could say that the cactus communicates through the carcass of the elk, but that's how you shift the tone, right? You can go like horror, weird, or you can go just mysterious weird, or just uncanny weird, right? a big cactus that has chestnuts instead of needles. All right, they drop and dry into crow's feet when the cactus is too dry. Oh, this is lovely. Elephant chessboard. Can it be sorry? Can it be delivered globally? Yes, yes. Critical Kit is responsible for the fulfillment. I think they're not delivering to Russia at the moment. Besides that, anywhere else in the globe. Okay. All right, cactus growing for now, cactus. Painting with its. Perhaps it is a dance. Unease dance that shoots. Oh, hey Tim, is that Tim or Sarah? Hello, CK down here in the comments is the one responsible for the thing. All right, that's the launch, guys. It's launching. It is launching, and the live stream is inside the live stream. That's perfection. We're officially live, people. Thanks, Tim, for the clarification. You can go ahead and back it now. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good luck to us. And cheers to every weird creation that we will be able to make with this one. Just to conclude it, shoots its needles forming a pattern of eerie paintings to communicate its deeds, right? And with a description, we could use some description as well. Okay, let me go to the framing here and see how we can frame it better. We have already tried sight and detail, so I'm going to roll again. Let me roll this again. Light and shadow, spatial and environment, shape and size, posture, attitude, we got it again. So impression or opinion. So we got first one. We can describe how the light and shadow. The second one was shape and size. And the last one, impression or opinion. How does it affect the character, or how it affects, how does it manifest? How does it show its personality, right? Hey, thanks Felipe. Thanks for being here. Sozinho, mas bem acompanhado. Great YouTube channel for solo games in Portuguese. All right, so with this in mind, we would say like we can really highlight how dark the carcass is, or the shadow, how the shadow of the cactus itself projects onto us, and how the light focus on the spines, the thorns that float in the painting, and shape and size here. To make it more unease, we could perhaps, instead of describing this traditional shape of a cactus, it could be more angled, you know what I mean? And perhaps a bit more shifted and geometric to make it like sharp, with sharp corners. And if you look at the elk carcass, you can see that it cut through the thing and grew. The first impression that we get is that this cactus is imbued with the sense of dread, the sense of something that is malign, that's something that grows from death. So it thrives on the suffering of other creatures. So that's the first impression that we get. There you go. I bet you wouldn't wouldn't find a cactus growing from an elk carcass specifically on a random table. So the idea behind this project is I could give you like hundreds of random tables with predefined entries, and that is super fun, but it has been done to an extent. I think the Weird by Monte Cook Games does it very well. But the thing is, it sometimes it just goes so far, right? I wanted to empower you to have a tool that you can use as much as you want and you always feel fresh because the combinations of the prompts and how you change the prompts using the steps of the procedure make for something that you wouldn't come up with otherwise. You know what I mean? You really bend the shortcuts and the tropes and the cliches that we keep in our minds, right? And that's why I really believe in this project. That's why I really want to bring it to you. And now it is time to make it happen, guys. So thanks Twin Steel for the backing, and we are super live, super doing the thing. Project launch commencing as I assumed it is live, and we already have 13 backers, which is fantastic. As I assumed it is live, and we already have 13 backers. I'll go ahead and show you everything. I assumed it is live, and we already have we are live. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Assumed it is live, and we already have we are live. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Assumed it is live, and we already have we are live. I'll go ahead and show you everything. It is live, and we already have we are live. I'll go ahead and show you everything. And also, I have 6. I'll go ahead and show you everything. And also, I have 6. I'll go ahead and show you everything. And also, I have 6. I'll go ahead and show you everything. And also, I have 6. I'll go ahead and show you everything. And also, I have 6. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Yeah, whoever I have 6. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Yeah, whoever there's also a bundle. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Yeah, whoever there's also a bundle. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Yeah, whoever there's also a bundle. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Yeah, whoever there's also a bundle. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Yeah, whoever there's also a bundle. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Yeah, whoever there's also a bundle. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Yeah, whoever there's also a bundle. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Yeah, whoever there's also a bundle. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Yeah, whoever there's also a bundle. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Yeah, whoever there's also a bundle. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Yeah, whoever there's also a bundle. I'll go ahead and show you everything. Yeah, whoever there's. Does this help? Sorry, people. Sorry, people. I have my computer muted and I didn't realize that I was having multiple versions of it going together. Capacle verse collapsing. This turned weird very quickly. You see, the tool works even on the live stream. It makes the live stream weird. I think you didn't get anything that I explained, right? Also sounds like the music I actually listen to. Yeah. All right. All better now? Okay, cool. That was the most on-brand thing for this game. All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, there was a little mute button. Living and learning, guys. First live stream of a Backer Kit project. First time using OBS here. So I think all things considered, I can consider it a success and very on brand too, right? So let me go back to what I was trying to explain before the chaos. So yeah, the tiers. Let's go back to the tiers. So digital, only the PDF, interactive, all clickable and everything. Bookmarked, I mean, as interactive, right? And then there's the physical one and some bundles you can get with Random Realities. You can get with Eversparked, which will come in a very special deluxe edition. Tim promised me. There is a bundle with Against the Wind and Random Realities. And if you want just to get the other games that I'm making available as an add-on, there's an add-ons only tier here that you get access, and you can buy Everspark, Against the Wind, Wraithhound, Random Realities, Midnight Melodies, and Insurgent as add-on. And you can get an extra copy of Weird Whimsy and Wonder, a physical one at a discounted price if you are planning on giving it as a gift to someone or something like that. Okay. I have two stretch goals. I want an interactive PDF that is something that it's not loading here for some reason. Let me see if I can. Oh, if I reload this page, we might get chaos once more. I don't want to do that. But the idea being, let me go back to stretch goals. The web app is at 8,000 euros. It will be. This is just a mock-up that I've made, but pretty much what we've been doing here on this live stream, and just perhaps shaped in a more decent way, a text box. I don't know. If we reach this funding goal, I'll open a discussion on the page, on the BackerKit page, to get your insights, what you expect from a web app, what can we do, something that doesn't require me hiring a developer, something that I can figure out using Google myself, as I did for this one. But I think perhaps like a text box or something that you can copy and paste, that's feasible. An interactive PDF that is not showing here for some reason. The idea is that it's a PDF with a JavaScript embedded that allow you to simply click and you click and you get results on the PDF. The advantage being you don't need to be online, right? But it requires you using Adobe PDF Reader or Foxit Reader. Those tools generally don't work if you open your PDF on your browser. So that's it. All right. I'll stay here a second more. If you have any more questions, if you want me to highlight something on the page, please say so. Should be the webcam. That's not the webcam that I wanted, but all good. All right. Pledged. Thank you guys for backing it. I think we're doing great so far. We already 20 backers. Okay, that's pretty cool, huh? $19.19 right here, $7.20 here. I'll hang out a bit more if you guys want to comment anything. I want to say anything, I'll be here. And then I'll walk my dog. I'll go walk the dog and keep myself away from the computer a bit so I don't keep pushing the refresh button like a maniac. And I'll let you guys have fun with the thing. Backer train at 20. Oh, okay. That's a good thing, I'm assuming. Oh yeah, that's the thing that people are like pledging one after the other, right? Sorry, my amateur knowledge of BackerKit. So I hope you guys liked the tool here. Oh, I have an ant walking on my notebook. Okay. And I can't wait for you to tell me the weird things that you are creating with it. If you want to join the Discord server, and there's a channel dedicated to weird whimsy and wonder. And if you have any questions, suggestions, also leave your comments on the discussion board on BackerKit. I'd love to answer them. The game is fully written, is 100% written. It's the layout is on course. I think the thing that is would take most of my time now, it will be the illustrations for sure. And my plan is I'll be updating, like when I make a new spread, I'll show you guys as an update and keep you all informed. And then I'll probably offer a beta version of the PDF for you to experiment and go around. And if you find any typos, any weird stuff, you can reach out to me and we'll fix it before we send it to production, to make sure that we have, of course, as close to a perfect product as we can. Thanks for the pledge. Halfway already. Yes, we were doing great. I couldn't ask for anything better than that. That's superb. Yep, 50% just crossed. Excellent. All right, let me open the door to the for the dog. I'm really excited for you guys to get your hands on it. Drawing an entire book is something that I've always dreamed of, and I think having the opportunity, I think one thing that we saw recently is this renewed appreciation for things that humans make, even if it's a bit janky, a bit imperfect. And I'm going full on this. I think it's an honest, transparent, full-hearted approach to art that I'm doing here. I know that I can improve, and I hope that I will, even through this project, but I really dig the cover and the pieces of art that I came up so far. I'm very pleased, and the tool itself is coming along super fine. As you can see, we created here two things that are pretty amazing in my view, with some sparks, and it's, as a group exercise, is also excellent. I do this with my home group, and we grab the prompts, we create weird stuff together, and it's a very fulfilling, very gratifying experience for sure. Thanks, Felipe. Thank you very much, guys. Let me get the dog. You know, right? The dog is always sleeping, but now that I'm doing a live stream, he wants to come back and forth, and I have to open the door all the time. You know, right? As one does, as one does. Let me see how we're going. We're doing very well. Okay. Better than I expected, better than I could have dreamed. That's fantastic. You guys are delivering. If you really like it, oh, I will introduce you to my pup, that's for sure. Let me grab him. Hello, this is Haroldo. Say hi, Haroldo. Hi. This is my dog. This little fur ball here. Not so little. It's kind of big, actually. Boom. Hello. my my little baby. He's asking what? He's asking for you to share with your friends so we can get more backers. This dog is a wonder, yeah. It is a wondrous dog, that's for sure. Yeah, I know, right? Well, we tend to get similar haircuts so we can walk around and people know that we are related. All right, guys, I think I'll end it here today. And I really appreciate you guys joining me for this live stream. It's been a lot of fun. Don't forget to share it with friends and family, people that I can't reach. I think to make it as successful as possible, I have to burst the bubble of people that I can reach, which is my followers on Discord, on Itch, and everything. So if you know of perhaps a solo player that like to dig with weird whimsical stuff, or a GM that you know that likes to create scenes that are very memorable, they might like it. So give it a hint. And there are circles that I can't reach by myself. So, and I can't do this alone. It's my first time on BackerKit. I don't have a huge following there. So I know it's asking a lot. You just backed the game, and I'm here asking for something else. But I do appreciate everything that you can do, because together we can make it the best that we can. And I really want to deliver a fantastic toolkit that you will use for years to come. All right. Thanks again for stopping by, for creating weird stuff with me. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.